Hi, my name is Dan DiMaria. I'm a village trustee for the village of Morton Grove. This program continues our YouTube recap, which is designed to keep the residents informed about village government and offer you a brief synopsis of the reports, meetings, residents' comments, and other action that occurred at tonight's meeting of April 26, 2010. For more information on meeting agendas and minutes, you can always visit the village website at www.mortongrovil.org. So let's review what happened at today's meeting, again for April 26 of 2010. There were no public hearings. There was a special report tonight, presentation regarding the importance of design review practices and community appearance regulations made by John Hedrick and Lori Marston from the Senior Advisor Chaddick Institute for Metropolitan Development. There was no resident comments on agenda items only. There were some, under the President's report, he had two board appointments. The first was Donna Hedrick to the Appearance Commission for a 3-year term, and the second was Pat Donahoe on the Advisory Commission on Aging for a 3-year term. Under the clerk's report tonight, we had approval of executive session minutes, a recommendation not to release executive session minutes, and also a destruction of tapes of executive session as authorized by the Illinois Open Meetings Act. Under staff reports, our village administrator Joe Wade had mentioned that the construction from on Lehigh Avenue from Oakton to Lincoln Avenue will commence on May 10th. Joe Wade had also mentioned there will be signs for parking on Dempster Street during the second phase of construction. There is also, the mayor had asked for Joe to comment on the importance of the census this year, and as we've said in many of our previous board meetings, it is very important to get back the census form that you received in the mail, to get that back to the government, because this really is where primary funding comes from for many, many federal and state dollars that the village desperately needs. So it's very vital that we can get as many of our residents to get back and get this census data back to the government. Under the trustees' reports, Larry Gomberg, along with Trustee John Thill, went down to Springfield, and they basically what happened down in Springfield was that they were at the Northwest Municipal Conference's legislative days on April 13th and 14th. Other municipal leaders were also there to lobby for both pension reform as well as the restoration of the proposed cuts in the state's distributive fund. This basically is a way for the municipalities to represent themselves at the state level so that we don't get cut out of our income tax portion of the state tax. Normally, out of the income tax, the village gets a 10% cut. The proposal in Springfield right now is to make that a 7% cut. So we're trying to keep it at a 10% cut, and that's one of the reasons that my colleagues went down there. As well as pension reform, which is always an issue at our village board meetings. The village tries desperately every year to keep the pensions funded to our actuarial levels. And what we're trying to do in Springfield is get the time frame possibly extended, so therefore we can continue to run the village and make our contributions accordingly. There were a few ordinances introduced tonight for the first read. They were ordinances 10-12, 10-10, and 10-11. Ordinance 10-10 is establishing a Morton Grove Foreign Fire Tax Board. That will be at our next meeting. We will vote on that. Ordinance 10-11, the purpose of this ordinance is to eliminate a redundant requirement for electrical contractor licensing and to update the licensing requirements for contractors regulated by the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. Ordinance 10-12, which we will also vote on at our next meeting, will amend the village's 2010 budget to account for expenditures from the Lehigh Ferris TIF District Fund. There were no residents' comments. Oh, there was residents' comments tonight by Joe Hedrick. Joe spoke on two parts. The first part was as a Legionnaire, and he wanted everybody to know that the meetings that the village has been having with the Legion of the Village have been constructive, and also that on a second note, the Legion had a fundraiser for the village, and by the end of May, the Legion board will determine where those funds will go. And he also had mentioned, as I had mentioned earlier, about police pensions and how the village should continue to fund these. As I mentioned earlier, we're always trying to do that. We're hopefully down in Springfield we'll get some cooperation. To view village board meeting, the village board meeting of April 26th in its entirety, you can tune into Channel 6 on Comcast or Channel 99 Morton Grove on AT&T UVerse at the following times: Thursday 12 noon, Friday 7 p.m., Saturdays 1 p.m., and Sunday at 5 p.m. To see our MGTV community TV program, which shows on a number of topics of interest to residents of Morton Grove, please tune into these same channels on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays at noon, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6, Saturdays at 9. DVD copies of meetings are available at the Morton Grove Public Library. The next Morton Grove Village Board meeting will be on May 10th, and that will start at 7 o'clock. If you have any thoughts or ideas about how your village can better serve you or have suggestions to improve our community, please contact us by email at vmg@mortongroveill.org. Or you may write Village Hall at 6101 Capulina Avenue, or call at any time during business hours at 847-965-4100 and let us know what you're thinking. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.